Georgia Bulldogs versus the Florida Gators. Today's game is sponsored by Toyota, who reminds you that it's a good feeling to buckle up for safety. And by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you.
That's the noisy Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. It's Georgia versus Florida. This series began, I suppose, in 1915. Although Georgia says there was a game in 1904, Florida says they didn't have a team that year. In any case, this is the way it's gone, 37-20-2. And last year, Georgia won it 26-21, as they did the year before. And in the last 8 years, Florida's won only one time. They won it in 1977 by a score of 22-17. This game is the state of Georgia against the state of Florida. For the fans, it is fun, it's excitement, and it is emotion. It's all the things that goes into the panorama of college football. And it is, how about them dogs? And it is go, Gator, go. The fans arrive here days, perhaps weeks before, and the emotion extends all the way to coaches and players. We asked some of the players how they felt about the Georgia-Florida game.
I think the biggest thing to me about the Florida-Georgia game is the scenery, the fans, and I think it's what a little kid dreams about, playing major college football in front of 80,000 people against a top-ranked team like Georgia, and it's everything I'd hoped it would be.
Got a lot of emotion. It's going to mean the SEC championship and possibly the national championship for us. I think you're going to see a lot of people out there playing, a lot of emotion, and a lot of guts.
The greatest heated rivalry in the South. The tensest game we'll ever have. There's more pressure on both teams, I think, than any other game because it is such a big rivalry.
I'd say it'd be a frenzy. Really the most exciting game you ever see in your lifetime.
This game is a lot of excitement. This game is a tradition that can hardly be beat anywhere in the country.
A great rivalry.
Exciting.
This is a game that has strong implications in the Southeastern Conference. Of course, here are the standings going in. Georgia 4-0. LSU has a tie. Alabama 1 loss, Auburn 1 loss. But before the afternoon is over, all sorts of things could change. And here come the Georgia Bulldogs. Now we're going to get the University of Florida Gators. The Florida Gators are coming out from the near side. They are the home team for this afternoon. And now, the Georgia Bulldogs, the visiting team here at this neutral site. With Pat Hayden, the former USC and Los Angeles Rams quarterback. This is a very special afternoon, Pat. This ball game, of course, is the thing that college football is all about. It's a picnic in the park. It's luncheon on the lawn. It's Carnival in Rio. It's Mardi Gras. It's very special.
Well, Lindsay, I've been involved with some heated rivalries in my career, but I have never seen anything like this. And November 6th, today, this Saturday, is a big day for college football all across the land as some heated rivalries take place.
Let's talk about the teams now and about quarterback Wayne Peace. He's very special.
Wayne Peace is on a record-setting pace. He's completed over 74% of his passes this year. That's a remarkable figure. He's also quite a leader as he's brought his team from behind in the fourth quarter 3 times this season against nationally ranked teams.
What do you think that afternoon that Florida has to do to win the ball game?
Well, Lizzie, the first thing Florida must do is control the clock. Last year in the game, Georgia had the ball 35 minutes, Florida for only 25. Charlie Pell feels his team must have the ball for 5 more minutes to win the game. Secondly, they must force Herschel Walker into the sideline. Georgia's base play is the sweep, and Florida must string him out and make him run east and west and use that sideline as a 12th defender. And thirdly, they must score when they move inside the 35-yard line. Here's where they have to avoid that big loss because Georgia likes to blitz inside the 35.
Now when we switch over and we talk about the University of Georgia, we know that Herschel Walker is something special.
Well, Lindsay, every now and then in the world of sports, a remarkable individual comes along who transcends the norm. Herschel Walker is one of those players, one of those very special players. How many athletes do you know that are recognized by their first name? You think of O.J., you think of Kareem, maybe the Babe. And now Herschel. He's a remarkable athlete because he combines a sprinter speed with a weightlifter strength. And in the fourth quarter, when you think you have been beaten and downtrodden, this is the time when Herschel Walker can run right by you for the winning score and beat you.
Well, now, we've talked about Herschel. What are the things you think that the University of Georgia will have to do and do well if they win here today?
Well, the first thing University of Georgia's defensive line must do is control that line of scrimmage. They are outweighed by 30 pounds by the Florida offensive line. They have to force Florida into 2nd and 8 situations, and if they do so, Georgia will win most of those battles. Secondly, John Lastinger must have an effective passing day. He's only completed 43% of his passes, but today he's got to keep drives alive and take some of the pressure off Herschel Walker. And thirdly, Georgia's fullbacks must take some of the load off Walker as well. While the defense keys on Walker, these fullbacks have the surprising ability to run by it for big yardage.
And so the stage is just about set here at this neutral site in Jacksonville for this feature of the largest outdoor cocktail party in the world, the game between the University of Georgia and Florida. Florida at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. Temperature right now is 62 degrees, the humidity is 64%. The wind is 10 to 15 from the northeast, and the forecast is breezy and somewhat falling temperature. It's good football weather here this afternoon. The referee here is Robert Allier. The umpire is Harold Johnson. The linesman is Norm Ackerman. The line judge is Ronnie Baines. The field judge is Al Granning. The back judge is Ted Thomas. And the ECO, electric clock operator, is Williams Rohr. They are assigned here by the Southeastern Conference, whose supervisor of officials, Gordon Pettis, is also on hand here this afternoon.
Lindsay, you mentioned the breeze there. Florida won the toss, but actually elected to kick off and take the wind.
And it's going to be Jim Gainey who will do the kicking. Jim Gainey is the man who was the hero of the victory last week over Auburn, when in the last couple of minutes of play he executed 2 field goals and an onside kick. Georgia's still huddling. They now break the huddle to take their alignment. The last address to the troops has been made. You look to see if you find a 34. There's Vince Dooley in his 19th year as coach at Georgia. Montgomery has gone back there deep, number 23, and with him is Charlie Norris. Herschel Walker is not deep. And they're kicking from the right sideline, which would indicate they're going to try to get it as deeply down there as they can. Florida in the orange jersey. Georgia in the white. Ball is up. One hop across the end line. Touchback first intent at the 20-yard line now for Georgia. As Graney got it deep, and there is no run back. This game with conference implications and possible national championship implications. Lasting of the quarterback. McCarthy starting at fullback along with Walker. Wisham and Jones are the wide receivers. Tight end is Norris Brown. Frequently we will have 2 tight ends in the ball game here this afternoon. First play from scrimmage. Lastinger brings them up in an I formation. McCarthy and Walker. Walker in motion outside right. Gave it to the fullback, McCarthy. This McCarthy carried. Got 2 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 8 at the 22. Newton made the tackle. And here is the Florida defensive line. Harris, Williams, Newton there. Marshall, Wilbur Marshall is number 88. Keep an eye on him. And the deep backs. Tony Lilly is the free safety. He's a good one, number 18. 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Jones in motion across. Again, they give it to the fullback. And again, it is Chris McCarthy. He speeds up there to the 28-yard line.
This is just what we expected. Georgia to come out and use that fullback some. Just try to take some of the heat off Herschel Walker. And early on in the game, defenders are so keyed up about Herschel Walker. They're trying to use that fullback and establish that fullback game now in the first quarter.
Georgia Bulldogs SEC record. 3rd down and 2 yards to go. You give it to McCarthy again, you give it to Walker. Well, you don't give it to McCarthy, he's in motion. Walker's got it, and he's got the first down. Herschel around the corner, and he gets across the 35, up to the 37-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go for the Georgia Bulldogs. On the corner, Curry made the tackle.
Nice play selection here, Lindsey. We saw the fullback in the first two plays. This time they send the fullback in motion, just as a diversion. Herschel Walker gets the pitch, follows his blocks. Number 63, Mike Weaver, makes a play for him there. He outruns a couple of defenders and then booms and battles his way for the first down.
So the Georgia Bulldogs have picked up the first down of the afternoon. They send Chuck Jones far to the right side. He's number 1. Herschel Walker. He got up to the 42-yard line for 5 yards. It is 2nd and 5 at the 5. Ricky Williams in to make the tackle along with Tom Wigman, who is from Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Herschel Walker piles up the yardage. Not spectacular, not a breakaway runner as such, but he's constantly in there getting 5, getting 7, getting 10.
We mentioned last year's game when Georgia controlled the clock so much. Here we are seeing them keeping the ball on the ground, gaining first downs, controlling the clock.
He needs 1 more yard to tie the career rushing record of Marinara, who's just ahead of him. Ed Marinara. Well, Lastinger decides to keep it this time. And on the option, he gets to the 45-yard line before Tim Newton comes in to make the tackle. Be 3rd down and 2 at the 45. There is Pell, the head coach of the Florida Gators. Charlie Pell, arms folded along the sideline. This is his 4th year. Came here from Clemson. Played at Alabama under Bear Bryant. Walker and McCarthy still in the I formation. McCarthy in motion outside right. Herschel has crossed the 50-yard line. Picked up the first down. Second first down he has picked up. Brown ran him out.
Walker driven out of bounds by Brown.
This stadium is packed and jammed. This is the first day the new Gator Bowl has been opened. It's the first time that a game has been played in it since the addition of some 12,000 seats and a new press box and the sky boxes. More than 80,000 fans, which makes it the largest crowd ever to see a football game in the state of Florida. The Super Bowl game in Miami previously had been the high. Lastinger. Intercepted at the 38 to the 40 to the 45. And returned to the 46-yard line. An interception by Randy Clark. Randy Clark picked it up. So it is a 1st and 10 now at the 46-yard line for Florida.
That ball looked like it was tipped, but you're going to see a play-action fake. Now, they've run the ball so much, now they try to fake it to Walker to hold the linebackers. Lastinger, the ball was tipped there by the defensive end and allowed Randy Clark, number 81, to step in front of the receiver and make the big play.
So now it's the Gators who get the first big break of the afternoon. Wayne Peace is their quarterback. Almost intercepted off the fingertips of Sanchez. Trying to get it to the tight end.
Pass from Peace to Malarkey.
Malarkey was the man for whom it was intended. University of Florida Gators, and here's their offense. Jones and Hampton are the backs. Young and Dixon are the wide receivers. Chris Faulkner, the tight end. Frequently, they will have a double tight end alignment here this afternoon. 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Florida at their own 46-yard line, no score first quarter. Try the draw play. James Jones. James Jones to the 47-yard line. Gained about 7 on the play. Tony Flack, the freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina, on the corner, made the tackle. And here is the alignment. Carver, Gilbert, Jackson, Crow, and Dooley. Gilbert on that tackle is vacated by Payne with the injury. There are the linebackers. Thurston, he's from Jacksonville, and there are the deep backs. Terry Hogue, number 14. Outstanding performer back there. Peace. Can't find anybody. Fumbles the ball. Recovered by Georgia. And it is at the 37-yard line. It is Dale Carver. Dale Carver on the ball, and it is 1st and 10 now for Georgia, just outside the Florida 37-yard line. The hit was made by Stan Dooley, and the recovery was made by Dale Carver. Patty couldn't find anything to do with it.
And he tried to scramble around. This is the kind of things that coaches just drive coaches nuts. Big turnovers early in the game. Each team has had one now.
First down for the Georgia Bulldogs. Herschel Walker took a wrinkle at the tackle, holding one outside to the 30-yard line. Picked up 8 yards on the play. Roy Harrison to make the tackle. It's going to be second down and 2.
Stop by Harris.
Georgia captains today are Dale Carver, Jim Broadway, Tommy Thurston, and Wayne Radloff.
You mentioned Georgia's captains. They're all from the state of Florida.
Exactly. Second down and 2 yards to go at the 30. Walker again. Big hole. He's at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Walker, touchdown. Touchdown, Georgia. A 30-yard run. Walker's longest run of the year. Herschel Walker stamped at 30 yards, his longest run from scrimmage this year, to score the first touchdown, and Kevin Butler will attempt with Jim Broadway holding. Butler's 23 of 25 in the extra point department. Broadway puts it down, Butler boots it up, and it's good.
Some people have complained that Herschel Walker has not broken many long runs the past 2 seasons. This is a 30-yarder, as you mentioned, Lindsey, his longest this year. But watch him break some tackles, read his blocks. He makes number 49, Fernando Jackson, miss. Then Tom Lilly, number 18, miss. Keeps his balance. Now you're going to see some of the strength. You saw the way he made people miss. He refuses to go down. Again, one more look at Herschel Walker. Watch his strength once he gets to the line. He makes up his mind. He knows when to explode. Makes a move. Keeps his balance. It's Randy Clark who intercepted the ball a little while ago, and then he keeps his strength.
In career rushing, he has now moved ahead of Ed Marinaro of Cornell with that scamper. There's the scoring drive. 2 plays, 37 yards, only 35 seconds. That'll be Kevin Butler kicking off. Usually he boots him too far for him to be returned. Deep in the end zone. That one is across the end line. So it'll be first and 10 at the 20 on the touchback.
Herschel Walker plays this game with his eyes. The play is supposed to go outside, but he sees a hole, follows his blocks, makes a few people miss, again keeps that balance. And here you see some of his strength. See him break a couple tackles. He refuses to go down. He still refuses to go down. This is a man who runs a 10-1 100 meters.
First down and 10 yards to go now for Florida at the 20-yard line. He's turned it over on the fumble. Georgia recovered, and 2 plays they were in the end zone. Leave it on the ground. Trying to establish a running game. They give it to Lorenzo Hampton. And now for an NCAA Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Lindsey, Notre Dame has just opened up a 24-16 lead on Pittsburgh. They strike for 2 long touchdowns. This gadget play, 55 yards. Blair Keels to Joe Howard. Now, Alan Pinkett has just dashed 76 yards. 8 minutes, 9 seconds to play, 24-16. Back to Lindsey.
All right, Brent. Notre Dame and Pittsburgh. And right here, it is second down and 6 yards to go at the 24 for Florida. Can they leave it on the ground? Giving it to James Jones, their big fullback. He got into the 27-yard line, picked up about 3, which will make it 3rd and 3. Kevin Jackson made the tackle. Catfish Jackson.
Lindsey, you mentioned Florida trying to establish a running game. This has been a big difference for Florida this season. The past 2 years, they've come into this Georgia game and thrown the ball an awful lot and thrown it well and effectively. However, this year, they feel that the offensive line and the tailbacks and a man named James Jones at fullback to be able to run the ball effectively and give them some balance.
John L. Williams is in at the tailback now, number 22. Hampton is out. Jones is the fullback. Peace has the ball. Pops it out there to Young, Tyrone Young. And he's going to be marked in advance of the 6 for a first and 10 at the 33-yard line. Harris made the tackle. And the Goodyear Blimp Enterprise is hovering overhead this afternoon. It's from Pompano Beach, Florida. Pilot is Richard Daniels from Burbank, California. Enterprise, of course, came up to this area. Took 10 hours to go 340 miles from Pompano Beach to Jacksonville. They said when they looked down yesterday, it looked like the Riviera. You're looking at the new Gator Bowl. More than 80,000 seats. First First down and 10 yards to go at the 33 for Florida. It's Jones to the 39-yard line. 6 yards on the play, 2nd and 4. Will Forts from the linebacker post made the tackle. Florida captains today, James Jones and Buddy Schultes, Tom Wigman and Roy Harrison, and special teams Larry Keefe.
You see James Jones statistics last week. He rushed for 107 yards against Auburn.
2nd down and 4 yards to go. Florida at their own 39. Georgia leading by a score of 7-0 in the first quarter. It's Williams carrying out to the 42-yard line. Looks to be about a yard short.
Picked up by Gilbert. Joey Ziegler report to the West Side Information Booth. Joey Ziegler, the West Side Information Booth.
You see number
Lomas Brown getting attention along the sideline, and there is Vince Dooley pacing along the Georgia sideline. He gets in a lot of mileage in the course of an afternoon. 3rd down and 1 yard to go. A 3rd and 1 for Florida at their own 42-yard line. Give it to Jones, and he's got the 1st and 10. James Jones kept going to the 47-yard line before Jeff Sanchez came in to make the tackle along with Flack.
Up by Sanchez. Flack.
It's going to be spotted nearer the 46. In the first quarter of this year, Georgia has been outscored 43-37. In the first quarter, Florida has been outscored 34-24. Georgia in the fourth quarter has outscored its opponents 80-12, meaning that the Bulldogs have finished strongly. On the draw play, Anderson carries. Gets not much. Right there was Freddie Gilbert, the destroyer.
You'd think a quarterback who threw the ball for 74% completion rate would throw the ball more here in this situation, but we mentioned in the top that Florida feels that they have to hang on to the football. And you saw the reason why last time when Georgia drove 37 yards for the touchdown. They want to control the football and still be able to score here.
This is the first time this season that Florida has played on natural grass. All their other games have been on artificial turf. Peace. It's taken at the 32-yard line by Chris Faulkner. Chris Faulkner had it as he went across the sideline marker, and it's going to be 1st and 10 to 32. Tony Flack covering.
Watch Wayne Peace, again, a high percentage thrower. You're going to see him to look to his right. Now, he's trying to go to his right. He comes back to his left to his tight end, Chris Faulkner, who had beaten the defender very easily. A nice throw, steps out of bounds. Here's another look at the tight end, Chris Faulkner. Florida features their tight ends quite regularly. Number 80 catches the ball, keeps his feet in bounds for a big play.
1st down and 10 yards to go for the Gators. Can they leave it on the ground? It is taken by Lorenzo Hampton down to the 31-yard line before Kevin Jackson brings him down. Again, of a yard or so on the play. Make it 2nd and 1 at the 34. Warming up along the sideline now is Jim Gainey, who kicks the field goals for the University of Florida. They don't want to come out of there with nothing if they get inside the 30. Over and back. And penalty marker is thrown to the referee. Illegal procedure is indicated. Robert Allier is the referee. It is against Georgia, so it's a 5-yarder.
Dead ball foul. Illegal procedure.
Down to the 26-yard line. Second down and about 4 at the 26. Florida in Georgia territory. Georgia is leading by a score of 7-0. Florida trying to even it up. James Jones. He's got the 1st and 10. Jones to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Florida. And now upon NCAA Today report, let's again go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Lindsey, Washington scores first on UCLA. It'll be Jacques Robinson, 4-yard run. The Huskies 7, the Bruins nothing. The loser will be out in the race for the Rose Bowl. Back to Lindsey.
All right, Brett. Big game going there. Washington, UCLA. And right here, Georgia leads 7-0. Florida has the ball first and 10 at the Georgia 20-yard line. Peace is the quarterback. He's number 15. James Jones is the fullback. He's number 30. He's got the ball, and he drives it to the 17-yard line. He picked up 3 on the play to make it 2nd down and 7 yards to go, and Terry Hogue came in to make the tackle. Terry Hogue leads the nation in interceptions with 10, who had never intercepted a pass until this year. Georgia with 29 to lead the nation as a team.
This is the area of the field we mentioned on the top that Georgia likes to blitz. It's important for Florida to come away with some points here.
Wayne Dixon, far to the right side. Brother of Hewitt Dixon, formerly of the Oakland Raiders. That's Dixon in motion back to the inside, number 83. Peace, throwing, and incomplete. Tyrone Young trying for the diving catch. Stretched out that 6'6" body and tried to pull it in. One-time basketball player.
You're going to see Tyrone Young at the top of your screen there, number 10. It's just a quick out. What you can't see is the pressure that's been put on the quarterback. The ball is thrown a little bit outside. Young makes a nice effort, but just can't hang on.
From Ocala, Tyrone Young, and now a big 3rd down play. It's 3rd and 7 at the 17. Dixon and Young wide to the right side, the flip formation they call it. Now it's Dixon in motion back to the inside. It's Tyrone Young again, and it is intercepted, I think. And it is. It's Sanchez. It is Jeff Sanchez with his 7th interception of the year, 30th of the year for Georgia. It was a jump ball, Young and Sanchez.
You said a jump ball. Now Tyrone is 6'6". Jeff Sanchez is only 6'0". Florida thinks they can win that matchup. But Jeff Sanchez, that's his 7th interception this year. As you mentioned, now here's another look at Tyrone Young. Georgia, this is their 30th interception of the year. The ball's a little fade. He is 6'6". They expect him to go up and get those. It's a little bit underthrown. He cannot make the play.
Momentum took him into the end zone for the touchback. 1st and 10 at the 20 for Georgia. And there is the Gator, who is trying to soup up the Florida Gators, who just lost the football out of touchback. And that's how you look after you've been in the furor of this game for several days. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for Georgia. Motion back all the way across. Herschel Walker on the draw. And Herschel, 25. And up to the 27 or 28-yard line. Scott Marshall made the tackle. Herschel Walker in his junior year.
Here's a look at Herschel Walker from behind. Now watch his eyes. That play is supposed to go to his right, but he has the innate sense and feel for this game, knowing where players are. He takes that to his left. He's all on his own. Did a pretty nice job of it.
2nd and 2. Motion again all the way across. Again Walker looking for the 2. Trying to struggle to the 30. He has to get to the 30 for the 1st down. Tim Newton made the tackle. Now again, let's go to New York for an NCAA report, and Brett Musburger.
Lindsey, the Bear, is coming back. He strikes for his first touchdown against LSU. A lot of time left in this game. 7:43 in the 3rd. It'll be Walter Lewis to Joey Jones. 28 yards, a beautifully thrown touchdown pass. 17-10, LSU still leads Bama. Let's go back to Lindsey.
All right, Brett, lots of interest in that football game down in these quarters because they're all in the SEC. It's 3rd down, less than a yard to go. Herschel Walker, 1st and 10. He got it all the way out to about the 33 or 4. Fernando Jackson. As a matter of fact, they needed about a foot, but Herschel can't really do that without giving change, and it's all the way out to the 34-yard line.
That was a 1 or 2 yard run by Herschel Walker, but it's interesting. He had the trademark of jumping over the top in short yardage, but we mentioned a couple times how he uses those eyes. He looked like he was beginning to jump there, but then he decided not to and picked up the 1st down on the ground.
Simmons is on the wide right. Simmons has got it. 35, and he gets up to about the 38-yard line. Melvin Simmons. Randy Clark from Venice, Florida made the tackle.
It's a nice, safe pass for John Lastinger to have his first completion on. Vince Dooley's trying to allow him to get some confidence, get a feel for the game. And a little quick rhythm pass like that can make a quarterback feel a lot better.
2nd and 6 at the 38-yard line. Georgia's leading by a score of 7-0 with 2 minutes, 38 seconds left to play in the 1st quarter. There's Simmons in motion all the way across number 28. In close to the 46, who is Chris McCarthy, the fullback. Moved it out to the 43-yard line. Gain of about 5.
Stop by Patrick.
Patrick was in on the tackle.
Here we have a look at Chris McCarthy. He's one of the fullbacks we mentioned, Lindsay, at the top. With so many people, Keenan, Herschel Walker, the fullback becomes a key in their rushing attack.
Third down and a yard to go. Georgia doing just what Florida hoped they wouldn't do. They have the ball. They're using up clock, moving the ball upfield. Need one. Herschel gets it. First and 10 at the 45-yard line. Lawrence Patrick made the tackle.
Walker carries. Stop by Patrick.
It has been written that Georgia runs a Goldwater offense, meaning ultra-conservative, or give the ball to Herschel, and that's what they're doing. He has carried 9 times for 74 yards so far this afternoon. Earlier this year we did on CBS the Mississippi State-Georgia game when Herschel rushed for 215 yards. 1 minute 45 seconds left in the first quarter. Motion all the way across. Herschel Walker. 45. Got a first and 10. Out of bounds near the 41-yard line. Clark and Marshall. Scott Marshall made the tackle. 14-yard pickup on the play. It's going to be marked at the 42-yard line. First and 10. Georgia now in Florida territory.
When you run for as many yards as Herschel does, it's because some of the blocking. Watch number 63, Mike Weaver, the guard, pull around and make a wonderful block on 49, Fernando Jackson.
Out of the I formation, and they give it again to McCarthy, and McCarthy lunges up to the 36-yard line. Picked up about 6 on the play.
Even though Georgia's been conservative in their attack, they've made Florida defend the whole field. We've seen them pitch the ball to Herschel Walker. As we look at Vince Dooley here, they pitched the ball to both sidelines, let Herschel Walker one deep and one wide. They've given the ball to the fullback up the middle, and John Lastinger has completed a short pass.
Norris is at the tailback now, and Walker's out of the ball game. They give it to McCarthy, the up back, and McCarthy picks up a first and 10. Georgia moving steadily downfield. They've moved it to the 30-yard line of Florida now, and the clock says 39 seconds left in the first quarter. Patrick and Lilly on the tackle. There's time remaining. The Georgia sideline. The Bulldogs are leading it by a score of 7-0. First and 10 at the Florida 30-yard line. Norris, he's the alternate for Walker, and he carried to the 36. There's Charlie Pell, head coach of the Florida Gators. They got off to a roaring start this year. Wins over Miami and University of Southern California. They were 3-0. Then they stubbed their toe twice against LSU and against Vanderbilt. Came back now. Have completed their home schedule in Gainesville. Time is running out in the first quarter. And there it is. Time has run out, so at the end of the first quarter, at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Georgia and Florida, the score is Georgia 7 and Florida nothing. At the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, this is Lindsey Nelson with Pat Hayden, and Georgia's leading by a score of 7-0. As we start the second quarter, they have the ball second on 7 yards to go at the 26-yard line of Florida. Lastinger brings them up. Herschel Walker went out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. Wigman and Lilly made the tackle. Here are the first quarter stats. Take a look.
Look at the rushing yards. Florida only has 38. Georgia 109. And there's a time of possession. We mentioned that as one of the keys. Georgia had it for 8 minutes and 11 seconds. Florida only for 6:49.
Third down and 4 yards to go. Quick pitch to Herschel Walker on the option, and he got the first and 10 inside the 20-yard line as Tony Lilly again made the tackle. First and 10 at the 18-yard line. Herschel has carried 12 times for 95 yards so far.
Number 34, Walker, you see him just cut it up. Now, he had strung the defense out, and then he makes a few guys miss in some of his balance.
So the Dogs are driving here. They're leading by 7 points. Came into the game with a record of 8 wins and no losses, ranked number 3 in the nation. Motion all the way across. Herschel Walker, 15, changes pace inside the 10. Walker to the 9-yard line. Fernando Jackson brought him down.
Lindsey, Georgia just keeps coming after you. That was the 13th play on this drive. They're going to outplay it. They're just going to control the football. We've seen that here this entire first half. Last week, in their game, they had 5 drives over 10 plays.
Notre Dame leading Pittsburgh. SMU leading Rice 20-0 at halftime. Oregon State, Arizona State, no score in the first quarter. Arkansas Valhalla 14-7. Jones in motion all the way across. And it is scared to the 4-yard line by McCarthy. Number 46, Chris McCarthy.
That Pittsburgh score got a big reaction here from the Georgia fans.
Wouldn't it, though, because they're interested in those national rankings. Pitt ranked number 1 coming in, and Georgia ranked number 3. First down and goal to go just inside the 5-yard line. 9 first downs for Georgia in the ballgame so far. Florida looks a little disheartened as they try to dig in down there inside the 5 now. McCarthy in motion across. As Herschel got it to the 3-yard line. Well, it'll be second down and goal to go.
If Herschel Walker has a trademark, it is the leap. This is the part of the field in the short yardage and goal line situations that he has the best leaping ability of anybody outside the NBA.
Wilbur Marshall made the last tackle, number 88. He had a sensational game earlier this year against Southern Cal. Nebraska, 35-7 over Oklahoma State. Penn State 54, North Carolina State nothing, a final. LSU leading Alabama 17-10. They're interested in that one here too. Penalty marker on the play as Barry Young took it into the 1-yard line. Barry Young is Herschel's roommate. There is a marker to be checked out now. Apparently it was against Florida. Ricky Williams was on the tackle. Look at this. Clemson 16, North Carolina 13, a final score. Oklahoma 24, Kansas State 10, and that's a final score. Michigan 16, Illinois 11, a final.
Defense.
Illinois is apparently just about run out of gas. In the first quarter, Cal nothing, USC nothing. That penalty was against Florida. It's half the distance, puts the ball out there at the 2.5-yard line, or maybe the 1.5-yard line. Second down. Power eye. Up and over, touchdown. Herschel Walker went up and over for the touchdown. Number 34. Again, Herschel Walker has taken it in there. Conversion attempt coming now. Kevin Butler with Jim Broadway holding for him. And it's good. 14-0.
From the ground, look at the absolute incredible leaping ability of number 34, Herschel Walker. You don't see him yet. Now you do. Right over the top. Touchdown. Unbelievable. It's a good offensive surge by that offensive line of Georgia. You see last year get the ball to him nice and deep, which allows Herschel Walker to be able to do that. No penetration by that defense. Good work by the offensive line.
So with 12 minutes, 43 seconds remaining in the first half, it is now Georgia 14 and Florida nothing. Herschel Walker, who has carried 15 times for 107 yards so far today. Look again.
Herschel Walker, the extraterrestrial. Phone home, Herschel.
Herschel has 107 yards. Florida has 38 yards in total rushing. Now it's going to be Kevin Butler kicking off. John L. Williams and Lorenzo Hampton back to receive for Florida. It's out of bounds. Williams was up there, across the sideline marker. Here is a final score. Take a look at this one. A final score. Notre Dame 31, Pittsburgh, ranked number 1 going into today's game, 16. So the Irish have knocked off the nation's #1 football team, and that is a final score. 5-yard penalty, they kick it again.
Notre Dame still has a difficult schedule the rest of the way, too, Lindsey.
Don't they, though? Average yards on first down for Georgia, 6.1. Georgia has 9 first downs in the game, and Florida has 4 first downs in the game.
When you're 2nd and 4, as Georgia has been most times, there's a whole lot more you can do with your offense.
Butler gets long distance on these kickoffs, and Florida would like John L. Williams to get to the ball. They've got Lorenzo Hampton and Williams back there. Williams is number 22. Shadows are lengthening here in the late afternoon at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. Williams, but he won't run it out. It's too deep. Touchback, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Big afternoon in college football all across the land, and you're watching college football on CBS. The panorama from overhead of the Jacksonville area. Purdue 16, Iowa 7. That's the final score. Big Ten scores here. Indiana 10, Wisconsin 7 in the 3rd quarter. Northwestern 28, Michigan State 24 final, and Northwestern has won another. Miami of Ohio 23 and Central Michigan nothing. Buddy Waters must be a happy man, coach of the Michigan State Spartans. I'm an unhappy man, I beg your pardon. Well, Jones batted it up into the air and couldn't get it coming down. So it's simply a forward pass behind the line, incomplete. From Peace to Jones.
You're looking at number 90, Freddie Gilbert. He's the man who tipped that ball, Lindsey.
It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line. The Georgia bench. Peace is 2 for 6, 27 yards and 1 interception. Draw play. Jones carrying, number 30. Gets a yard. It'll be 3rd and 9 at the 21-yard line. Tomorrow, CBS Sports Sunday brings you ringside for a great junior welterweight matchup as undefeated Billy Costello faces veteran Willie Fireball Rodriguez. Costello will be fighting in his hometown of Kingston, New York, and Rodriguez hopes a victory will put him within reach of a shot at the WBC Super Lightweight title. It's all tomorrow starting at 2 Eastern on CBS Sports Sunday. 3rd down and 9 yards to go for Florida. Gators still trying to get on track, and they haven't been able to do it. That's Peace with the ball. He can't find anybody. Now he goes long. And it's Hampton, Lorenzo Hampton, at the 46-yard line of Georgia. 1st and 10, Florida to Georgia 46. Hampton's reception, Sanchez the defender. 34-yard pickup on the play.
Wayne Peace has superb protection. Watch all his time to throw the ball. That offensive line has given him a great opportunity. He looks right, then he looks left. Then he finds number 7, Lorenzo Hampton, his halfback, who would come out of the backfield and drills the ball in between 2 defenders.
1st and 10 now for Florida as they try to keep the drive alive, trailing by 14 points in the 2nd quarter. Dennis Hampton drives down to the 40-yard line, picked up 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Hampton, 203 pound to 5'11" from Lake Wales, Florida. Tommy Thurston came in to make the tackle with Jeff Sanchez.
Number 60, Tommy Thurston. You're going to see him. He's a Jacksonville kid. He's coming here playing in his hometown. He fights off a block. He's there to help make the play on Hampton.
Thurston's Parrots are here this afternoon. He's from Jacksonville, Florida. 2nd down. Coming up now. Jones trying to get to the 6, and he's very close. Might be inches short.
This is a difficult position for Florida to be in. Here they are 14 points down, and yet they don't want to abandon their game plan. They still have to run the ball, keep the ball away from Herschel Walker and that Georgia offense, yet they still have to move the football, come up with some pass completions to gain something on that 14-0 advantage.
What they've got to do here is get 1 yard. It's 3rd and 1 at the 37 of Georgia. Florida in the orange jerseys, Georgia in the white. He may have got it. It's according to where they mark it. Jones carried, looking for the 1 yard. It's going to be marked at the 31, and that's going to be very, very close. They'll take a long look at this one. Robert Allier, the referee, says, let's bring out the sticks and check it out here. 10 minutes, 8 seconds left to play in the half. Vanderbilt beat Kentucky 23-10. The Commodores are rolling. That's the final score. Auburn 30 and Rutgers 7 in the fourth quarter. And it's Tennessee 29, Memphis State 3 in the fourth quarter. Well, it's short. It's fourth down and less than a yard. So what do you do here? Is it fourth down time?
They're going for it.
They are. There goes another tight end. Charlie Pell has made the decision by sending in Chris Faulkner. He's got Malarkey and Faulkner both in there at the tight ends.
Here's where you'd like to have Herschel Walker diving over the top.
Wouldn't you, though? Jones is in the left set behind Peace. Fourth down and a yard to go, and the crowd is now rising to this occasion. Motion all the way across. Jones, first and 10. He got it. It'll be marked at the 35-yard line. James Jones needed only a yard. He got only a yard, but that's it at the 35-yard line. 6 first down for Florida.
Here's a test of will. The right side of the offensive line, Buddy Schulteis, Lomas Brown, Chris Faulkner, and James Jones follows those big fellas for a first down.
Georgia is leading by a score of 14-0. There's a penalty marker. First down for Florida at the 35-yard line.
Again, the point being made here, now that they're at 35, they've got to come away with some points, particularly being down 14-0. Last time they got inside the 35, they threw an interception.
First down and 10 now for Florida at the Georgia 35-yard line. Jones has carried 10 times for 36 yards. He's the fullback number 30, James Jones. Peace. Gonna keep it. Bumped out of bounds after picking up about a foot. Freddie Gilbert is the man who bounced him out. Here now are the Florida coaches who are upstairs sending down the information. That's the way this game is run. The plays are called from upstairs.
Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, sends the plays down, and they're signaled in.
Shanahan is on the left. He is the play caller. They're signaled in from the sideline. Second down and 9 at the 34. Peace. He hits Dixon at the 30-yard line. Wayne Dixon. Tony Flack, the freshman cornerback, made the tackle. Third down and 5. An unusual situation with Tony Flack starting as a freshman over there on that corner for Georgia. We inquired about the recruitment of Flack and were told that everybody knew about Flack. Third down and 5 yards to go. Peace fakes, he's got the ball. Puts it up complete. Jones has got it. You'll recall that it was Peace to Jones on a pass play that won the game over Miami in the season's opener. It's first and 10 at the 20-yard line now for Florida.
A nice call, nice mix by Florida. They've run the ball successfully. Now they play action fake to number 30, James Jones. Excellent hands. Lindsey, you already mentioned the big catch against Miami. He turns it upfield for a first down.
And there is Okafor, the Bulldog. Look at this now, fourth quarter, LSU 20, Alabama 10 in the fourth quarter. We'll keep you posted on that one. We're in Southeastern Conference country. Try the draw play. It's Hampton. Hampton to the 15. Wrestled to the turf just as he crossed the 15-yard line. Gain of 5, makes it second and 5. Sanchez made the tackle. Hampton number 7, Lake Wales. Both bands here this afternoon, of course, at this neutral site. Crowd is about 50-50 in its allegiance. Fans start coming in here days ahead. They start parking in all the adjacent parking lots. And again, it's Hampton carrying. At time he got only 2, carrying to the 13, where it's going to be 3rd down and 3 yards to go. It was Dale Carver from Melbourne, Florida, who made the tackle.
3rd and 3. This is the area, we've mentioned it a couple times, that Georgia likes to blitz. They play a wide tackle 6. It's an 8-man front. They can put a lot of pressure on a quarterback. Conversely, this is the area that Florida likes to throw the ball to their tight end.
Florida on a flip formation with Dixon over to the far side along with Tyrone Young. Both of them over to the left side. Dixon motion back toward the inside. Peace to Young, and it's a 1st down. 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Double to the left side, completed to Young. Sanchez made the tackle.
Tackle by Sanchez.
Watch 83, Dwayne Dixon come in motion, but at the top of your screen is 10, Tyrone Young. Big cushion on 3rd and 3. They should not be that large of a cushion, because if he catches that, it's a 1st down. Sanchez, number 31, comes over a little too late.
So now the Florida Gators are going to try to take it all the way in there. They're trailing by 14 points. Georgia out front 14-0. 7:19 remaining to be played in the 1st half. Hampton and Jones are the split setbacks. Hampton to the 4-yard line. Sanchez again on the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go. Kevin Jackson, also Catfish Jackson, on the tackle along with Freddie Gilbert, the destroyer. Second down play coming for the Gators. Hampton's in the right set. Jones is in the left. Peace lays it up there for Tyrone Young, but he can't get to it. Georgia has rushed for 134 yards. Florida has rushed for 60 yards. Sanchez was covering. The pass is intended for Young. Many bowl representatives, including the Cotton Bowl, here this afternoon. The orange, the sugar, the cotton, the peach, the tangerine, the sun, the independence, the gator, J.L. Hopkins, and Jim Brock, representing the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas, where we spent a lot of New Year's Eve, 22 to be exact. It's going to be marked at the 1-yard line. Hampton thrown back there by Sanchez, along with Carver. It's to the 1-yard line. So it's going to be 4th and 1.
Looked like some indecision by Lorenzo Hansman. He didn't know whether he should sprint for the corner of the end zone or good defensive pursuit. Down to the 1.
Charlie Pell talking to his people upstairs. It's decision time.
And he wants a little bit more time.
Out. He'd like to put in another long-distance call. It's going to be 4th down and goal to go at the 1-yard line, and timeout Florida. Georgia is leading by a score of 14-0. We have 5 minutes, 58 seconds left to play in the 1st half, and now for Florida, they have the ball just outside the 1-yard line. 4th down and goal to go. Peace has been over talking to the coaching staff. Wayne Peace has the play. He's gone back. What do? You send Hampton in? Do you send James Jones in there? He's your biggest back. The decision has been made. So Florida tries to get it in there, and Georgia digs in, and here we go. Peace in the air, 6 for 11, 85 yards and 1 interception. Hampton did not make it. Ball goes over. Ball goes over to Georgia at about the 1-foot line. So Hampton did not get in. So the Georgia defense has dug in. They have taken the ball with 5:51. They still lead, and they have the football. Look again at the 4th down play.
James Jones leading the way for Lorenzo Hampton. Now, you remember the ball must cross the plane of the goal line. The ball came down, the shoulder came down with the ball, just a little bit short of that plane.
And so Georgia takes it over 1st and 10. Deep in their own territory. Lestinger brings them up. The tail of the tandem, it is Herschel out there at about the 3.
Get the situation, get the feeling that Florida's defense has been in this situation a few times the last couple of years.
Last 3 possessions for Georgia, 7 plays interception, 7 plays TD, 16 plays TD, and a lot of clock with that last one.
Absolutely.
Herschel is still the tailback back there in the end zone. 2nd down and 8. Herschel to the 5-yard line. He got 2 more. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Fernando Jackson made the tackle. Had a great game last year for Florida against Georgia. Big game to be covered by the media.
Here they pitch to Herschel. They're not afraid to pitch him the ball deep in the end zone, which he does. He picks up a good block by his fullback, Chris McCarthy. But a swarming defense puts a stop to him after.
Here this afternoon, to more than 150 riders covering this game. Lassinger just keeps it this time on the option and lunges up to the 10-yard line. Newton in to make the tackle that time. Over 200 photo credentials were issued here today. Punting it comes in for Georgia. The hand is for the ball defense. Play in the half.
Florida should get good field position. As you mentioned, 4.5 minutes left in the half. It's critical that they get some sort of score on the board.
Jim Brown yards, his longest 55. He's from Eustis, Florida. Victorious drop back deep for Florida near the 50-yard line. Broadway gets it off. Curry at the 45 of Georgia. Curry looking for a place to turn. And he's pulled down at the 44-yard line. A 35-yard punt, return 2 yards. Tackle was made by Mike Jones. So Florida now starts 1st and 10. And the ball is spotted squarely on the 44-yard line. The Goodyear blimp hovering overhead here in the late afternoon in the area of the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. Can Florida get on the scoreboard before the halftime intermission? 3 minutes, 54 seconds to play in this half. 1st and 10 Florida at the Georgia 44-yard line. Georgia leading 14-0. Wayne Peace. Tyrone Young, and interception for Georgia. Number 31, they lead the nation. It is Sanchez with his 2nd of the afternoon, his 8th of the year. His teammate Hogue leads the nation with 10.
He didn't look too happy about things, and he should be.
Florida man is injured and is down over there about the 12-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 12.
Wayne Peace should probably not have thrown this ball. He fakes the ball to Williams. Now he's trying to get the ball to Tyrone Young, number 10, on the left sideline deep. The ball hangs in the air a little bit and allows the free safety, number 31, Jeff Sanchez, from Yorba Linda, California, to jump up, make a leaping interception for his 2nd of the day.
Things are not looking good for the Gators of the University of Florida here late in the 1st half. Looking great for Uga. Tyrone Young was injured on the play. He's being helped off.
This deep pass, you're going to see Tyrone Young fake a little curl pattern. Now, he ran the curl pattern earlier, setting up, fakes the curl. Now he tries to run past Tony Flack. But Tony Flack gives him a good bump because he knows he's getting help from behind, number 31, Sanchez. Watch Sanchez's foot come right across Tyrone Young's helmet. That's where the injury occurred.
And so Young is going into the locker room. 1st and 10 for Florida at the 12-yard line. I mean for Georgia at their 12-yard line. Herschel Walker. Herschel brings the crowd to its feet. Out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
Walker on the carry, stopped by Marshall.
24 yards on the play.
Bayline Herschel Walker 7 yards deep in the backfield to give him a chance to read his blocks, which he does. You see him fight off a couple of those blocks. Then down the sideline, number 88 from the top of your screen right there, Wilbur Marshall is going to push him out of bounds.
At halftime, stay tuned to CBS Sports as Brent Musburg and Eric Parsley will be in our NCAA. In their own words, our guest is Ed Marinaro. All at halftime. Stay with us. It sent it inside for about a yard with McCarthy carrying.
Currently the ball carrier stopped by Newton.
2nd down and 9 yards to go at the 37.
Look at the play selection of Georgia here. They've had 27 rushing plays, only 2 passes, yet they lead 14-0. Florida has a much more balanced offense, but that statistic's going to have to change now, being down 14-0.
2nd and 9. The clock is running with 3:10 remaining to be played in the 1st half. Georgia leading 14-0. Lassinger, it's batted and it's incomplete. Just an incompleted pass. 3rd down and 9 yards to go. At the 37, it was Ricky Williams. who deflected it.
Lassinger's pass incomplete.
There's number 88, Wilbur Marshall. He was quite a factor. Georgia felt that they had to put a scheme up, use 2 tight ends to keep him from rushing and down, chasing Herschel Walker from behind and make some stops. Tremendously quick man who rushes from the backside.
Jamie Wisham, wide receiver, is coming to the ball game now for Georgia, number 6. Herman Archie is part of the left side, number 81. And again, it is Herschel, and he gets up across the 40, 45, 46-yard line. Another 1st and 10. I beg your pardon, maybe not. It's right at that. Patrick in to make the tackle. They're going to take a look at it and bring out the chain.
There's Charlie Pell. He's got to be very concerned about his defense. His defense has been on the field much too long today.
It is a 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Here are the SEC records set by Herschel Walker. His rushing record and his touchdowns record and his scoring record, and he is breaking records every day. We'll tell you about one that he broke just a moment ago.
Mind you, he's only a junior.
Only a junior. Archie's in the wide left. Lastinger. That time again with about 2 yards on the play to Walker. Tomorrow, CBS Sports brings you NBA basketball, featuring an all-star comeback story for both Dave Cowens of the Milwaukee Bucks, back in uniform and out of retirement, and former Denver Nugget, now with the Seattle Supersonics, David Thompson. Thompson won the game for Seattle Wednesday night against San Antonio with a basket in the last second of play. Join CBS Sports at courtside tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern for the NBA on CBS. Lastinger has it. He still has it. He's got it. Lastinger up to the 42-yard line. Lawrence Patrick in on the tackle.
This is the option play by John Lastinger. And you see Wilbur Marshall, number 88. Now, he's stringing him out, but Lastinger does the correct thing. He turns the ball upfield when everybody else thought he was going to pitch it to Herschel Walker. John Lastinger, who's won every game he started at Georgia.
1st and 10 at the 42. 1:45 left on the clock in the first half. Georgia leading 14-0. Take it back again. Look at Herschel. Switched that ball. Shifted that ball over into the left arm and went out of bounds at the 25. Tony Lilly ran him out. It's another 1st down.
Herschel Walker does a little window shopping here. You're going to see him just set these blocks up. He's looking for things to happen, makes a couple of cuts, and turns the jet on.
Herschel Walker has set the Georgia career total offense record.
He put a little move there on number 81, Randy Clark, then got to the outside.
That time Herschel is stopped after a gain of a yard. 2nd and 9 at the 25-yard line. Lilly again made the tackle.
We talk so much about Herschel Walker. What strikes me about the young man, he's obviously got great abilities, but his eyes, he has this great ability to be able to pick out his blocks, find holes, know when to turn it on and when to slow it down. Just remarkable.
Now we have a timeout. 1 minute 28 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. Here is the final score. LSU, which is undefeated and once tied, has defeated Alabama by a final score of 20-10. Not since 1904 has LSU won in Birmingham, but they did it this afternoon at Legion Field. LSU 20, Alabama 10.
Miami 17.
Not since 1970 has LSU been able to beat Alabama anyway, and they must be dancing in the streets in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. There they are again from upstairs. You get a look at it as coaches see it from up here and as announcers see it from up here. From the booth here. More scores. Final score. Notre Dame defeated Pittsburgh 31-16. SMU is leading Rice 27-0. Arizona State, Oregon State, 0-0. Arkansas is leading Baylor in the 3rd. Penn State swamped North Carolina State. And again that final, LSU 20, Alabama has been defeated. Washington 7, UCLA nothing in the 2nd quarter. 2nd down, 10 yards to go at the 26. More scores at halftime. complete and almost intercepted. But not quite. Lilly almost had it. It'll be 3rd and 10. We'd said before that
it is just not Florida's day here. Watch, his ball is clearly overthrown. You see the Florida defenders right there just can't hold on.
We'd said before that Herschel Walker set the Georgia career total offense record. The old record was 4,824, held by Zeke Bratkowski, who was quarterback at Georgia from 1951 through 1953. So that's just another record that Herschel has broken. He will be breaking a lot more. Not right there on that carry, however, because he was met by Ricky Williams, who dropped him for a loss on the play. Clock says 1:16. Penalty marker. Herschel's carried 22 times, and he already has 163 and 2 TDs. We're still in the second quarter.
He is so consistent. Coming in today's game, he had started 30 regular season games, Lindsey. In 25 of those, he had rushed for over 100 yards, and 8 times he had rushed for over 200 yards.
Time remaining. Penalty is being taken care of here. Florida apparently with an option.
Taking a look there at the Florida defense. Now, they've been on the field an awful lot today, and it also should be mentioned that this is only the 2nd time this season where the same 11 have started 2 games in a row. They've had a great number of injuries on that defensive unit of Florida.
Marked off against Georgia. Robert Ayer will tell us.
Holding. Offense. 3rd down.
10 yards. Holding.
3rd down.
3rd and 20 at the 36. Herschel Walker's 82 game by game. There they are, how he has done rushing against each of the opponents played this year by Georgia. Clemson, of course, he played briefly and with a broken thumb. Lassinger. And it's complete. Taken by Archie. It's going to be marked at the 14-yard line. Archie, number 81.
We talked early in the top of the show about Lastinger having to come up with some key completions. This is 3rd and forever, and he does. He drills the ball to number 81, Herman Archie, who dives up and takes a big lick by Lilly. The ball a little bit wobbly, but somehow it gets there. Archie has the courage to go up and get it. He knows he's going to take a lick from 18, Tony Lilly.
1st and 10 at the 14. Can the Dogs take it in again before halftime? Option, and the quarterback kept it. Lastinger. Drop back there at about the 16-yard line for a loss of 2. It'll be 2nd and 12. And with 32 seconds, there's a timeout signal.
Timeout, Georgia.
Florida has 2 timeouts left, and Georgia has 1. At halftime, stay tuned to CBS Sports as Brett Musburger and Era Parsegian will be in our NCAA Today studio in New York to bring you scores and highlights of today's action. Also, in their own words, our weekly halftime feature will spotlight former Cornell running back Ed Marinaro. That's all coming up at halftime right here on CBS. Then tomorrow on CBS Sports Sunday, we'll bring you ringside for a great junior welterweight matchup as undefeated Billy Costello faces veteran Willie Fireball Rodriguez. Costello will be fighting in his hometown of Kingston, New York. Rodriguez hopes for a victory that will put him within reach of a shot at the WBC Super Lightweight title. And you'll see exciting competition in one of today's fastest growing sports at the Maui Windsurfing International. It's all tomorrow starting CBS Sports Sunday. Not too bad to be in Maui at this time of the year.
Boxers we found since the strike.
They're all undefeated. From overhead. You're looking from overhead now, down at the natural turf of the Gator Bowl. Florida driving a Florida team that has lost to an SEC opponent only once in the last 5 years. They lost to Auburn in '79. That is the only conference game these Georgia Bulldogs have lost in 5 years. 2nd and 12 on the 16. Lastinger. Up and into the end zone, and incomplete. Clock stops with 26 seconds left. Lars Brown was the man for whom it was intended.
Here's John Lestinger sprinting out, and this is a good throw because he throws it where either Norris Brown, number 88, is going to catch it, or nobody is. Actually, the ball is very well thrown. It could have been caught. Norris Brown drops the ball, but I think he was a little concerned about that fence which he ran into.
Lilly was within stride for stride. It's 3rd and 12 at the 16-yard line. Clock starts on the snap with 26 seconds remaining in the half. Brown is from Lawrence, South Carolina. He was a track man in high school. Clarence Cade, another tight end, is from Seneca, South Carolina. He was a track man in high school. Lessinger. Try the other side to Brown. No, incomplete. Incomplete. Brown and Lilly again. Tried left, tried right.
A look from the end zone of John Lastinger's throw to number 88, Norris Brown. He drops back. The ball is a little bit behind him. Norris Brown tries to make a turn. He adjusts to the ball well, but can't quite hold on to the ball.
Kevin Butler's in to attempt a field goal. That will be a 32-yarder. Butler is 11 for 15 in field goals. Had a 59-yarder against Ole Miss earlier this year. Broadway will hold for him. 32-yarder for Kevin Butler is good. 3 more points for the Georgia Bulldogs. 15 seconds on the clock remaining in the first half. And it is now Georgia 17 and Florida nothing. Florida supporters have had not too much to yell about here in the first half.
Well, as we mentioned, that one key, they've gotten down inside the 35-yard line twice and come away with absolutely nothing. The frustration of the Georgia fans and this team, they've been in the SEC 50 years and have yet to win a championship.
15 seconds on the clock, which starts when the ball is touched by a member of the receiving team in the field of play. Kevin Butler will kick it off. Hampton is going deep with Williams to receive it for Florida. As we indicated, there are bowl scouts from all over here this afternoon. Getting a look at these teams. Georgia coming in with a record of 8-0, and Florida coming in with a record of 5-2. Florida figuring they had to win in order to be considered for a major bowl bid. Georgia knows it's going to a bowl game. It's just a question of which one. Hampton and Williams, and Hampton at the goal line 5. Hampton at the 10. Out to about the 15-yard line, and they'll start 1st and 10. It was Painter on the tackle. 1st and 10 now. They're spotted at the 14-yard line. Georgia had a drive of 7 plays and an interception. His team has scored every time since, as a matter of fact. Draw play is Jones. Jones out to the 25 and to the 27-yard line. It was Dean up there on the tackle. 2 seconds on the clock. Charlie Pell on the sideline. He can't be happy with what has gone on here in the first half. His career record came here from Clemson, where he had outstanding years. Timeout here. And when players resume, we'll have 2 seconds remaining in the first half. You saw Vince Dooley a moment ago. He's in his 19th year at Georgia. Bear Bryant's in his 25th at Alabama. Bill Yeoman in his 21st at Houston. John Merritt in his 20th at Tennessee State. And then Vince Dooley in his 19th at Georgia. Total yards in the first half. Georgia 239, Florida 159.
They've also controlled the clock, Lindsey. We've mentioned that Georgia has gone on some long drives. They've had 2 drives over 10 plays that have resulted in scores.
There are a number of people who think that probably Herschel Walker has already wrapped up the Heisman Trophy. I would say in this half he hasn't hurt his chances any.
There's some people at Stanford that might argue with you.
True. That's Jones. On the draw, he got it up there to the 39-yard line, and time ran out as Will Forts came in to make the tackle. So the teams head for the locker rooms here now. Georgia leading it by a score of 17-0. And Georgia has dominated play in this game. Getting out in front, adding a three-pointer just in the closing seconds. We'll be back with our halftime activities in Brent Musburg and Ira Parsegian with the NCAA Today after a word about an upcoming show on CBS and a message from your local station. At the Gator Bowl, 62 degrees so far. The current is 62 degrees at the start of the game. The current is 58. Kevin Butler is kicking off for Georgia. Williams is waiting, and he has it at the 7-yard line. Williams to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, and stretches out to about the 23. Charlie Dean in to make the tackle. So Florida will start now 1st and 10. Here are the first half stats.
You look at the turnovers there. Florida's had 3 of those. One of those very critically down there early in the ball game. Georgia's only had 1. Rushing yards, it's been Herschel Walker. They have 214 yards there. Time of possession has been about 2 minutes in favor of Georgia.
Williams and Jones in that backfield for Peace. Peace. He hit Williams and he took it in at about the 25-yard line. Gain of 3 yards on the completed pass. Hogue made the tackle. And here is the backfield now. Peace, Jones, Hampton. Jackson and Dixon, the wide receivers for Florida, starting the second half. Tight end is Chris Faulkner. And the offensive line.
Tyrone Young, number 10, the wide receiver, was out with a separated shoulder. We showed you an isolation of that.
Second down play coming. Second and long. Peace. That's the end of the line. He's sacked. Georgia defense got to him.
Take a look at the rush of Georgia's defensive line. Now, Wayne Peace has pretty good protection early on, but good defensive coverage makes him try to come to a secondary receiver. You can see him look to his right. Then he actually steps right into the pass rush. You see number 60, Tommy Thurston, and number 91, Tim Crow, put the stop on him.
And so now, Florida has the ball 3rd down and 23 yards to go back at their own 10. 3rd and 23 at their own 10. The first half did not go well. The start of the second half has not gone well for Florida. Georgia leads at 17-0. Big 3rd down play. Peace. Completes it. But way short. It's out to the 18-yard line. Taken out there by Spencer Jackson. Terry Hogue made the tackle. Punting in, it comes in. The Goodyear blimp from overhead at twilight time here in Jacksonville, Florida. The new Gator Bowl. Punter is Ray Criswell, a freshman. His first punt of the day. Jimmy Harrell watches it across the field. Harrell lets it go. And it's marked out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Georgia. They had the ball at their own 40. We are in the 3rd quarter, and Georgia is leading by a score of 17-0. At the Gator Bowl now, Georgia has the ball. Herschel Walker has 4,863 yards rushing. He needs just 95 yards in this second half to move past George Rogers into 4th place on the all-time rushing list in the NCAA. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line for the Georgia Bulldogs. Herschel Walker. And he moves it for 5 to the 45-yard line. Jackson to make the tackle. Lastinger is the quarterback. McCarthy and Walker are the setbacks. Wisham and Jones are the wide receivers. That is for Georgia. Tight end is Norris Brown in the offensive line. Second down play coming for the Georgia Bulldogs. Lastinger. Jones in motion across. Herschel Walker. Little jitterbug and moved it out to the 47-yard line. Williams and Whitaker in to make the tackle. Vince Dooley looking out onto the field. Seen his Georgia Bulldogs come in here and dominate the ball game so far, and he came in with a record of 8 wins and no losses. Hopeful of another shot at the national championship. The Bulldogs won the national championship in 1980. Singer got the first and 10. At least I think he got just very close. Tackle made by Lilly and by Whitaker. Now let's check the defense starting the second half here for Florida, the defensive line. Harris, Williams, and Newton. There are the linebackers outside, inside. Wilbur Marshall's number 88. And the deep backs for Florida. They're going to measure for the possible first down. You look at the Georgia sideline. It's short. It's short. He didn't get the first down. A little bit short. So it is fourth down for Georgia. 4th and inches at the 50-yard line. With 162 yards in the first half, Herschel Walker broke the NCAA career rushing record for 3 seasons. The old record of 4,854 yards held by Charles White of Southern Cal from 1977 to 79. Another record for Herschel. They're going to go for it. It was Herschel. All he needed was inches, and I think that's what he got. Wigman was the man who met him there. But it is a first and 10. First and 10 at the 49-yard line. Herschel's carried 25 times for 172 yards. 12 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Georgia leading 17-0. Jones is in a wide right. He's number 1. McCarthy's the fullback. McCarthy, 46. Stopped at the 48-yard line. Got about a yard.
It must be so frustrating to play against this Georgia offense because you know what they're going to do. You know they're going to come out and run the ball. They're going to give the ball to Herschel Walker. Occasionally they're going to give it to the fullback. But they execute so well, Lindsey, that it's just so difficult to stop them.
Wisham is coming to the ball game now. Second down and 9 yards to go. Penalty marker goes down as Herschel moves on down to the 41-yard line, but there's a marker to be checked out. Procedure against Georgia. That is a 5-yard penalty. Nullifies the gain by Walker.
Wilbur Marshall, the bottom of your screen, number 88. He's going to get blocked pretty heavily there. He's blown off the ball. Now he slides back into the action. But he is blocked very well by number 88, Norris Brown.
Georgia's drawn 4 penalties for 25 yards. Gets the ball back at the 47-yard line. The attendance today is 80,749. This is the largest attendance ever for a football game in the state of Florida. Previous top crowd, 80,187 at Miami's Orange Bowl for the 1976 Super Bowl, in which the Pitt Steelers beat the Dallas Cowboys. There goes Walker to the 44-yard line. Fernando Jackson and Curry up here on the tackle. 3rd and 7.
Here's the block of number 88, Norris Brown, the tight end, on Wilbur Marshall. That's a great matchup there between those two. And it's a dead stalemate, but it allows Herschel Walker to run right by him as Norris Brown tied up Wilbur Marshall.
Now time has been called by the Georgia Bulldogs, and Lastinger's going over to the sideline for a little advice and information. Late in the afternoon here at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. It's getting a little bit cooler. The temperature hasn't dropped a great deal. Georgia 17, Florida nothing in the third quarter. 10 minutes, 28 seconds remaining to be played. Jacksonville, Florida. This series was started here in 1933. And the Gator Bowl opened today, the new refurbished Gator Bowl with 12,000 additional seats to make this a record crowd.
Here's number 12, Bob Yuko from Florida, getting a little bit warm. He has played quite a bit this year in relief of Wayne Peace.
3rd and 5. McCarthy in motion. That is Walker. He needs 5. He's got more than that. 35, 30, 25, and out of bounds at the 24-yard line. Lilly and Curry finally got Walker out. 1st and 10.
Absolutely superb blocking by the right side of the Georgia offense. What you're not even going to see a Florida defender within 10 yards of Herschel until he gets way down the field. A nice block there by the fullback. Number 1, Chuck Jones, as a receiver. Screens off the defender. Herschel lets him go by, picks up a couple extra yards. Tremendous blocking.
It's spotted on the 25-yard line. This is the 9th game in which he's had 200 yards. This time down to the 21-yard line. Herschel Walker got 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 6. The Dogs, in driving like this and keeping the ball on the ground, continue to eat up the clock. Keep possession of the football. We now have 10 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter.
People wonder why offenses don't get tired. We always talk about defenses getting tired, Lindsey, but playing defense takes, they say, 30% more energy than playing offense, particularly in the line position. So when we say a defense is getting tired, that's what we're talking about.
Option play, and the pitch to Walker. He goes out of bounds at the 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 2. It was Lilly and Walker.
Number 88 at the bottom of your screen in orange, Wilbur Marshall, a Lombardi Trophy candidate here. You see, frustrating afternoon. Herschel Walker just right out of his grasp.
It'll be 3rd down and 3 at the 18-yard line. Herschel Walker, number 34. He's only a junior. Lastinger on the option to the 9-yard line, 1st and goal. Again, it was Lilly on the tackle.
Going a look of John Lastinger. He fakes it to the fullback, then he follows his fullback, Chris McCartney, right in the hole. Makes a cutback and a saving tackle by number 18, Tony Lilly. He prevents him from scoring a touchdown.
Lastinger calling the next play on the huddle. 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Walker to the 10-yard line, a loss of 1, 2nd and goal. Marshall made the tackle. Wilbur Marshall.
You know, Lindsey, we've talked a little bit about John Lastinger. He has won every game that he started at Georgia, and in high school, as a senior, he won every game in his senior season.
This is on replay outside the stadium. People watching on television outside the stadium because they couldn't get tickets. There are thousands out there in the parking lots who didn't want tickets. They came to the biggest outdoor cocktail party in the world. Ball moves to the 6-yard line. McCarthy carrying it. It'll be 3rd and goal. Lilly and Marshall on the stop. 6-yard line. That's the yards rushing. Georgia has a considerable advantage, as they do in the score.
And an interesting statistic, any game that Charlie Pell's been involved with, a team that's rushed the ball for more yardage has won 83% of the time.
3rd down play coming here. Lastinger. And it is incomplete. Across the sideline marker to Jones. Chuck Jones was the receiver, but he was across the marker. 4th down.
Number 12, John Lastinger, he's rolling out to his right. Now he looks to his left, and he comes back to his right, trying to find anybody. He sees Chuck Jones in the corner of the end zone, leads him. Jones catches the ball, but can't keep his feet in bounds. He just has to keep one in, but he did not do so.
Kevin Butler has come in now to attempt the field goal on 4th down. The 23-yarder. Broadway is holding for him. Butler's 23-yarder is good. 2nd field goal of the day for him. And so with 7 minutes, 51 seconds remaining to be played in the 3rd quarter, it is now Georgia 20 and Florida nothing. Georgia, Florida, and it's going to be Georgia kicking off now. Kevin Butler will put it from the 40-yard line. Williams and Hampton have dropped back deep to receive it for Florida. More than 80,000 fans at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. Williams. It It goes across for a touchback. It'll be brought out and put in play, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. It got by the flag, then crossed the sideline marker. Notre Dame defeated number 1 ranked Pitt today, 31-16. A big victory for the Fighting Irish and a bitter loss. On the other side, SMU still riding high in the Southwest Conference. Baylor leading Arkansas in the 4th quarter. That's a little bit of an upset. Nebraska beat Oklahoma State 48-10. Penn State over North Carolina State really rolled it. And here's one. LSU 20, Alabama 10, a final score. 2nd SEC loss for Alabama. Ball is loose. Ball is loose. And Georgia has recovered it. Georgia has recovered it. Stan Dooley with the football. Stan Dooley got the football. Nothing is going right for the Florida Gators. Georgia 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line. 4 turnovers for Florida. Georgia 1. Almost to 13. Lilly on the tackle. Lilly's had a big day back there for the Florida Gators at the free safety. 2nd down and 4 yards to go. Michigan rolling towards USC. That's Herschel. About the 9-yard line. Very close to the 1st down. Fernando Jackson on the tackle. First down and goal to go. And it's at the 9-yard line. So the Georgia Bulldogs leading the ball game by a score of 20-0 and driving here. McCarthy motion outside. Herschel Walker inside the 5-yard line. 2nd down and goal to go. Wigman was in there to make the stop. Second and goal just outside the 4. Six minutes, 14 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and the clock is running. Power I formation. Motion across. Herschel Walker. Moved it to just outside the 1. And again, it was Fernando Jackson. 3rd down and goal.
Herschel Walker, number 34. Now watch him just kind of pause, wait for things to happen and develop. Then he turns on the juice. He cuts back. He's hit by a host of Florida defenders, keeping him from the end zone.
This is in this quarter, time of possession. Georgia, 7 minutes plus. Florida, 1 minute plus. Walker, up, but not over. Just up, but not over. Stopped inches short.
I had a feeling that Florida's defenders thought he might jump over the top, Lindsey.
I would have thought so.
One more time, Herschel Walker, watch the way he leaps. He's up. There's a host of defenders there trying to deny him the touchdown. They did so. From behind, here it comes. Here comes Herschel. Nice picture by our director, Bob Fishman there.
And it's 4th down, and they're going for it. Georgia's going for it. 4th and inches. Touchdown, Herschel. A little mixed up on the handoff. His last thing, a stumble coming out, but he got it to Herschel, and Herschel got it in there for the touchdown.
Looks like Florida may have been offsides, but here you can see great penetration there. Lastinger has trouble getting the ball. Walker finally does get it and powers his way in for the score.
Conversion attempt coming now. Kevin Butler with Broadway holding. Conversion is up, and it's good. It is 27-0.
Watch at the center of your screen. 52, Ricky Williams versus the center. 55, Wayne Radloff. He knocks the center right back into... Lastinger has trouble getting the ball to Walker. Walker does catch it. He gets the ball, still gets the ball into the end zone.
Seems that no matter how you get it to Walker, he gets it in there. He's carried 35 times for 221 yards and 3 touchdowns. We're in the third quarter. There's Herschel Walker along the sideline, and those stats on his performance so far today. 4:48 left in the third quarter. Outstanding performance.
I think he's even pleased.
I think so. And there is Uga Ford.
He certainly fits the bill.
Butler kicking off. Williams retreats. 3 yards safe in the end zone, will not run it out. Near the conclusion of today's game, as well as every CBS NCAA football telecast this season, we'll be selecting the Chevrolet most valuable players from each competing team. Chevrolet donates a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each player's school to assist qualified students in all chosen academic disciplines. This is the 12th year of the Chevrolet Scholarship Program. We at CBS Sports are delighted to be part of such a beneficial activity. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. Williams gets it out to the 26. Tomorrow, CBS Sports brings you NBA basketball, featuring an all-star comeback story for both Dave Cowens and for David Thompson. Join CBS Sports at courtside tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern for the NBA on CBS. Second down and 4 yards to go at the 26. Double receivers to the left side for Florida. Wayne Peace still the quarterback. Peace to Jones. Slipped out. Short of the 25-yard line.
There you see Florida's possessions and what they've done the last 7 times. They've punted a lot. They've fumbled some, thrown interceptions. That's why they've scored no points. You see on their second and third possessions where they had control of the ball, 14 plays and 18 plays, they still did not get any points.
3rd and 6 at the 24-yard line for Florida. Peace. Decided he was going to unload it. Got it out down with the head of Dixon. There was a move made on the ball.
There you see Wayne Peace coming off, Lindsay. He's a remarkable young man. As we mentioned, he completed 74% of his passes, yet he's still taking a lot of criticism. I don't care what kind of passes you throw, that's a remarkable percentage.
Criswell is coming to do the punting now. Jimmy Harrell has dropped back deep to field it for Georgia. Long, high spiraling kick. Taken at the 21-yard line. Back to the 25, Harrell to the 30-35. And stopped at the 37-yard line. Georgia leading by a score of 27-0. They have the ball early in the game. Herschel Walker broke the NCAA career carries record for 3 seasons. The old record was 918 carries set by Ed Marinara of Cornell. First and 10 at the 37-yard line. We got all kinds here at the Georgia-Florida game. Norris and Young are in there now. Wedge him out to the 40-yard line. Carney Norris carried. Okay, the NCAA all-time rushing leaders, and here's where Herschel stands, and you can see where he has to go. Not far behind Rogers, then Griffin, who won the Heisman twice, White, who won the Heisman, Tony Dorsett, who won the Heisman.
Another distinguished company that he's in, and he's making a strong bid for the Heisman today.
Incomplete. Over the head of Carney Norris. Third and 7. Utter bitter disappointment for the Florida Gators here this afternoon.
Their season started so well, Lindsey, as you mentioned. They won those first 2 big games, and they had a couple of tough losses, and then they played Auburn last week, a big win there. It's been an emotional roller coaster for them this season.
And they had hoped to rectify some of that here this afternoon. Again, it is Norris who is the backup for Herschel Walker. Got it out there at the 48-yard line. Enough for the first and 10, I think.
I'd like to be Carney Norris playing behind Herschel Walker. Kind of like playing behind Patton.
Just about. First and 10 now for the Georgia Bulldogs. Came into this ball game with a record of 8-0. Ranked number 3, but they know that the number 1 ranked team, Pittsburgh, has been knocked off today by Notre Dame. Todd Williams in there now at quarterback. Todd Williams is the quarterback for Georgia in place of Lastinger.
There he is. He's a freshman, Lindsey, and they're very, very high on him. They've had an excellent freshman recruiting year. He is one of those freshmen they recruited. They also recruited another freshman they're high on, Jamie Harris, whom they're going to redshirt.
Second down and 8 yards to go at the 47. Motion across. Moves to the 45-yard line. Young carrying. Again at 2. It'll be third down. And about 4 yards to go. Clock is running with 1 minute 52 seconds left in the third quarter. Georgia is leading by a score of 27-0. Williams with a late pitch, taken by Carney Norris. Got it to about the 41. Lilly made the tackle. He's made a lot of them out there this afternoon.
Well, that's part of the problem. When your free safety's making a lot of tackles, you know they're getting right past the defensive line and linebackers.
You got it. Before spotting the ball, they're going to measure for the possible first down. And 10. Outside the 41-yard line, Georgia in possession. Norris is still the tailback. Young is the up back. Norris inside the 40, 39-yard line, about 2 on the play to make it second down and 8. Wigman made the tackle. Exactly 1 minute left in this quarter. If you were in the blimp and you look toward the sunset, that is what you would see. Sunset in Florida. Time of possession in this half. Todd Williams throwing complete. Taken by Young, and he's down the sideline. Young went out of bounds, I think, back up there about the 25. I think he stepped out. Fernando Jackson made the tackle.
Todd Williams, number 15, the freshman quarterback. He had his first taste of this great rivalry. Little play action fake. Shows nice touch, throwing it over the defender to number 38, Barry Young.
He did go out at the 25-yard line, so it is spotted there. First and 10. Clock says 32 seconds now in the period. Williams has the ball, the quarterback. Got no more than a yard. Wilbur Marshall was there on the tackle.
Here's some of the Georgia players. Ho-hum, just another victory.
Still undefeated, untied. The clock is running. You see the time ticking off there. It'll be 2nd and 8. 5 seconds left in this quarter. And that's it. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Georgia 27, Florida nothing. We'll be back with 4th quarter action after this message and a word from your local station. The Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Lindsey Nelson with Pat Hayden as we start the 4th quarter. Georgia is leading Florida 27-0. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. Georgia at the Florida 24. Counter play down to the 15-yard line with Carney Norris carrying. Herschel Walker's back up, moves to the 15-yard line. Jackson in to make the tackle. Fernando. These are the 3rd quarter stats, and look at the rushing yards. Georgia 345 and Florida 93.
The turnovers, 4 for Florida, only 1 for Georgia. In a time of possession, nearly a 9-minute difference. The one thing Charlie Pell was concerned about, Lindsey, as we talked about, was time of possession.
3rd and 1 for Georgia. Quarterback still has it. He's got the 1st down as well and dropped the ball. Dropped the ball. Todd Williams dropped the ball. Georgia players indicating they retain it. And they do.
Todd Williams, the freshman quarterback. You see him fake to his fullback, very young. Then he's down running the option. Wilbur Marshall, number 88, makes him cut it in. He's struggling for some yardage. He breaks through some tackles. But number 49, Fernando Jackson, knocked the ball loose of Todd Williams, but the Georgia offensive lineman made the recovery.
Guy McIntyre on the ball. 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line for Georgia. Kenneth Young. Norris, I beg your pardon. Norris carrying. Jackson on the tackle.
Norris carries.
Lindsey, I really have to give this Georgia offensive line a great deal of credit. They've been phenomenal today because many times, like a run there, you will not even see a Florida defender around the ball until the running back is down about 3 or 4 yards past the line of scrimmage. Take a look at number 88, Norris Brown, to illustrate the point. He's their tight end. He's blocking on number 90, Val Brown. He's just pushing his man out. It's a stalemate. It gives the running back a chance to run right by him.
Melvin Simmons is in a wide left. Carries down to the 1-yard line, and it's Young carrying, very young, who is Herschel Walker's roommate. 1st down and goal to go at the 1-yard line.
We get a look at the offensive charge of Georgia, those offensive linemen that we've talked about, who've been doing a superb job all afternoon.
Next play has been brought in. Brought in actually by Chris McCarthy. Norris, tailback in the power I formation from the 1-yard line. But Young went barreling in, but he didn't get anywhere. It was Young carrying.
Dr. Ulla reports to the West Side Information Booth. Dr. Ulla to the West Side Information Booth.
It's going to be 2nd down and goal to go here at the 1-yard line. And there we are. Say hello to people.
Hello, folks.
Again from the 1. Up and over and in there for the touchdown. It's Carney Norris.
Herschel Walker does not have a patent on the up and over, because you're going to see Carney Norris do the same thing. A good surge by the right side of the line. What makes this play possible, as you look at it again, is, again, those offensive linemen coming off the ball and keeping the defenders tied up. It allows the tailback to be able to get an opportunity to leap over the defense.
Kevin Butler will attempt. Broadway is holding for him. It's up and good. And so again, Georgia has scored. They've converted, and it's 34-0 with 12 minutes, 7 seconds left to play in this game. The Goodyear blimp from overhead now, high above the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. More than 80,000 fans on hand here this afternoon, or this early evening as it is now. Georgia came into the game 8-0, ranked number 3, but what an afternoon they have had. That last scoring drive indicated here, they're leading by a score of 34-0. And Kevin Butler is taking the ball up to kick it off to John L. Williams and Lorenzo Hampton. Lets it go, and it's a touchback. It'll be put in play first and 10 at the 20-yard line. Now let's go to New York for some interesting news from Brett Musburger.
Lindsay, we began the day with 5 unbeaten teams, and as everyone knows, of course, Pitt was beaten by Notre Dame this afternoon, 31-16. But another shocker. Arkansas has fallen to Baylor 24-17. Alfred Anderson scored twice for the Bears. He was their offensive star. He pounded in with the winning touchdown. Now let's go back to Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Brent, first and 10 at the 20. It's Peace still at quarterback for Florida, and those undefeated teams are dropping like flies. Peace along the sideline. It is completed to Jackson. Spencer Jackson, 89. However, he had taken it across the sideline marker before having possession, so it's simply an incompletion. Second and 10 at the 20-yard line.
In the second half here, Lindsey, Georgia has had 10 first downs, Florida 0.
The last time that Georgia blanked Florida was 1968. The score was 51-0. The score right now is 34-0. Peace. And it is ruled a fumble and a recovery for Georgia at the 14-yard line. It was ruled a fumble, and the referee has indicated Georgia recovery first and 10. Dooley on the ball. Dooley on the ball. No relation to the head coach, Stan Dooley. Gilbert was the man putting the pressure on, causing the fumble.
You see Wayne Peace now, he's trying to deliver this ball. Now, the question here is, was he trying to release this ball? Was the ball actually thrown? The ball was tipped as his hand was moving forward. That may have been incorrectly called.
Freddie Gilbert was the man, and then there's Stan Dooley recovering. So it is first and 10 at the 14-yard line. Inside the 10-yard line. And it was Young carrying on the play. Second down and 6 at the 9. Pennington made the tackle. Georgia leading 34-0 and trying to get another one in here in the fourth quarter. In fourth quarter play, Georgia has scored 80 points, their opponents 12. Here's Georgia's last 8 possessions and what they did. For Florida fans and the Florida team, that's a nightmare. Norris, penalty marker, thrown by a linesman. Carney Norris carried. He's the backup for Herschel Walker, who's getting a little well-deserved rest right here in the fourth quarter.
Lindsey, this game has actually been a game remarkably free of penalties. This is showing you again some of the execution that is so characteristic of this Georgia football team.
Holding is indicated by Robert Allier, the referee, and tell you what happens in a game like this when you get to the fourth quarter. Robert Allier just turned and signaled to the far side of the field where he thought the press box might be, and then suddenly turned and signaled back to the right side.
Offense, holding, 10 yards.
Wayne Peace, number 15, having a frustrating afternoon. After the LSU loss this year, Lindsey, he came back into an empty stadium and just practiced his throwing. He was so disappointed.
Second and 15 at the 20-yard line. Incomplete. Intended for Carney Norris. Todd Williams, the quarterback. Third and 15. Lots of big scores today. The NCAA, a big day for college football. All sorts of action. All around the country.
We've got a big one out in the West with UCLA and Washington, Lindsey.
Washington is leading UCLA 10-7 in the fourth quarter. LSU beat Alabama. We're ready to play. Garner Norris. Inside the 15. Pushed back hard as he got to about the 13. And Clemson beat North Carolina 16-13. And Michigan beat Illinois 16-10. Michigan still undefeated in the Big Ten. Appears to be on the way to the Rose Bowl. Kevin Butler's in to attempt the field goal now. It'll be a 30-yard attempt with Broadway holding near the hash mark right. 30-yard field goal for Kevin Butler is good. And so, 3 more points for the Georgia Bulldogs. And with 10 minutes, 13 seconds left in the game, it is Georgia 37, Florida nothing.
Frustrated Charlie Pell. Here's a view of him there. He's never beaten Georgia while he's been at Florida. He was a little upset, I believe, at Georgia for kicking that last field goal.
Kevin Butler kicking off. Williams deep in the end zone will not run it out. Touchback, first and 10 at the 20. This year, Georgia is not ranked statistically very high. Yesterday, we talked to Coach Vince Dooley and asked him what this meant.
Well, I think it means that there might be a lot of questions about our football team, and I agree with you, Lindsey. Last year, statistically, we were right up in the top 10 in most categories, but not this year. On the other hand, I think it's a tribute to our football team that we have found a way to win and continue to win. Now the big question is, can we win with the kind of competition that we're facing today and the rest of the schedule? I think we'll answer a lot of questions about our football team today.
Piece for the football, and he's being sacked by the Georgia Bulldogs. Back on the 10-yard line. Kenneth Sims got to him. Well, I think that they have found out a great deal about the Georgia team here this afternoon, and I think as far as ratings are concerned, it's going to have an effect because the #1 team in the nation has been knocked off. Georgia came in ranked #3. They've had an outstanding afternoon, so I think that Coach Vince Dooley knows a great deal more about his team, other people do too, than they did before this game started. 2nd and 20 at the 10-yard line. Peace. And it's completed. Out across the 20. Spencer Jackson at the 21-yard line. Stopped by Tony Flack.
Mr. Jackson. Stopped by Flack.
1968. 51-0. Last time shut out by any team, 79. Alabama.
Somebody doesn't like the way Florida's playing.
So we have a delay here because of that. So while that burns out for an NCAA Today report, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Lindsey, less than 5 minutes to go. UCLA here with the ball against Washington. They're going to score the touchdown you reported on, and it's Tom Ramsey. 39 yards to JoJo Townsend. Now, the Bruins are desperately trying to get the ball back right now. We'll keep everybody up to date on that game as you try to clear the field down there and get Georgia finished against Florida.
All right, Brent, we have a hero who is clearing the field.
Surprised they didn't send Herschel Walker out.
Tomorrow, CBS Sports Sunday brings you ringside for a great junior welterweight matchup as undefeated Billy Costello faces veteran Willie Fireball Rodriguez. Costello fighting in his hometown of Kingston, New York. Rodriguez hopes for victory. That's all tomorrow, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Sunday. 3rd and 9 at the 21. Wayne Peace. To the area of the 45-yard line, complete to Jackson, to Spencer Jackson at the 45.
Here's Wayne Peace. His team is down 37-0, so he's got to come up with some big plays. Again, good protection. Then he scrambles to his right. He's just looking for anybody right now. He's being chased by a couple of defenders. Throws it off balance and manages to get enough zip on the ball. Spencer Jackson's feet were out of bounds before he came in to catch that pass. One more look. His left foot is out of bounds before he receives that ball.
And so it comes back to the line of scrimmage. That makes it 4th and 9 at the 21, and the punting unit comes on now. Ray Criswell comes in to do the punting. Jimmy Harrell is deep.
You can see number 89, Spencer Jackson's left foot is clearly out of bounds. Then he catches the ball.
That nullified the catch. Ball is marked ready for play by Robert Allier, the referee. Criswell waits for the snap. Walter Bird snaps it. Harrell lets it go. Rolling inside the 40. Down to the 35. So it'll be 1st and 10 now for Georgia again inside their own 35-yard line. Down by Downey. The Georgia Bulldogs are leading by a score of 37-0. They have the ball 1st and 10, and they have it at their own 36-yard line. Still getting the defensive unit ready. No time to let up, despite the fact they are leading 37-0. And the fact that they're undefeated and untied. Todd Williams still quarterbacking.
Lindsey, I had an opportunity yesterday to talk with Herschel Walker, and I asked him, are you ready to carry the ball as much today as you did last year?
Well, yes, I do, because I think I've gotten myself ready to carry the ball a lot of times. Last week I carried the ball about 9 times in a row to get my, at least, determination up and get my running ability back. And I think in this game here I'm going to need it, because Florida have one of the best defensive units in the SEC, and they have one of the best overall teams in the SEC, and I'm going to have myself ready, and the team's going to have to be ready to play.
Well, Herschel Walker carried the ball 47 times last year against Florida. Today he's carried it 35 times for 221 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Montgomery picked up a couple of yards, and then Todd Williams just now completed the pass to Jimmy Hockaday. That puts the ball out at the 48-yard line, makes it 1st and 10 Georgia at their own 48. Some of the shock troops in the ball game now for the Bulldogs. That is Young carrying up the middle. Across the 50-yard line into the 49. Gain of 3 makes it 2nd down and 7 yards to go. Ricky Williams in to make the tackle. He from Pensacola. A wrap-up on Herschel. Here's what he has done now today. Every game he's played this year, and what he did today, he carried 35 times and got 221 yards. The 9th time that he has rushed for 200 yards or more in his fabulous career. Williams with a flip, the quarterback. Montgomery carrying. Montgomery just about to line of scrimmage and not much more. Wigman in to make the stop. Ohio State beat Minnesota 35-7. It's a tribute to the place kickers here this afternoon, Gainey and Butler. Let us observe that not one kickoff by either team has been returned at all day long. 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Montgomery might have got it. He's right at the 6. Pennington made the tackle. Clock is running. There's time remaining in the game. 7 minutes remain to be played just now. It is 4th down and a yard to go. Jim Broadway is in to do the punting. Ivory Curry has dropped back to field it for Florida. The tip marker. Taken by Curry at the 18-yard line. Pennington got to him, and there is a roughing the kicker flag. Look at it again.
Everything else has gone wrong. Here's one more thing. The ball is off, and he's hit late.
Pennington got to him. Immediately the flag went down. Roughing the kicker. Keeps Georgia alive. That's going to make it 1st and 10. At the 28-yard line. It's been that kind of a day for Florida. That is Young carrying from the fullback spot. And he got it to the 23-yard line. Patrick Miller made the tackle. Look at the yards rushing. Little difference.
Like I said, every game that Charlie Pell's been involved with as a head coach, the team has rushed for more yards, has won 83% of those games.
2nd and 5 at the 23-yard line. It is Tron Jackson carrying, and the quarterback is Danny Green. Tron Jackson carried, Danny Green the quarterback. Jimmy Hockaday is in there now, the wide receiver. Hockaday's going wide to the left side. Danny Green, the quarterback, with a late pitch now. Throws it to the 20-yard line. Tron Jackson carrying again.
We saw Harvard score a little earlier. Our producer, Rick Lasavita, was rather excited. Director, Bob Fishman, Boston University, is not particularly doing too well. They haven't done well since Bob left.
4th and 2 at the 20-yard line. They need 2 yards. They got it. And more. It is a touchdown for Tron Jackson. Tron Jackson with a TD.
Jackson, yet another freshman who will carry the banner in the years ahead for Georgia. He's learning well from number 34, Herschel Walker, but he breaks a couple tackles into the end zone. One more look. Again, watch the blocking again. He gets a nice block by his fullback, Barry Young, then makes a defender miss, changes hands with the balls, and turns on the juice. That's it.
Kevin Butler for the conversion with Broadway holding. Broadway's conversion, Butler's conversion is good. So it is now. With 4 minutes, 44 seconds left to play in the game. The Georgia Bulldogs, 44, and the Florida Gators, nothing. 4's a wild here at the Gator Bowl. And it'll be Georgia kicking off. They're fairly wild. Georgia fans, many of the Florida fans have left. At least there are a good many empty seats, and we presume they were occupied by Florida fans. Georgians seem to be enjoying it to the fullest. The unhappy side of the field, the disappointment of Charlie Pell. Kevin Butler kicks it off. Williams and Hampton are deep to return it for the orange and blue. Hampton, but it won't be returned. We haven't had one returned all day long. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. This half, that's time of possession.
We talked about it as being one of the keys this whole game. In Georgia, this half has been completely dominating. And the other story, 1st downs, Georgia 13, Florida zot.
The halftime score was Georgia 17, Florida nothing, and Georgia simply came out and is running it up even more. Bob Hugo is in there now at quarterback. Hugo is the quarterback. Wayne Peace is out of the ball game. Hugo at one time a couple of years ago was the regular until he was injured.
They call him Snake.
And they tried to draw play. Taken by Anderson. Got it out to the 23 for a 2nd and 7. Donald Chumley made the last tackle. Hugo again retreats. The left-hander completes this one to Dixon. Wayne Dixon, 83. Tim Bobo made the tackle. Spotted at the 25-yard line. 3rd down and 5 yards to go. Florida ready to go with Hugo there. Takes it out in the right flat at the 25. Taken by Malarkey. Up the sideline for a 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
That's their first down of this half.
Those stats that we were talking to Coach Dooley about yesterday are the fact that Georgia is ranked 93rd in the nation in passing offense, 44th in total offense, passing defense ranked 70th. Yet they're undefeated, untied. A victory here this afternoon will make them 9-0. They're leading 44-0.
They rank 1st in recruiting.
And they have Herschel Walker. Hugo. Hampton incomplete, penalty marker thrown at the 45-yard line. Officials confer. Ineligible downfield. That's loss of down as well. The Georgia bench, have they ever hopped up here this afternoon? This half, the total yards, Georgia 229 and Florida only 19. The Bulldogs are sky high. Washington 10, UCLA 7, a final score.
UCLA undefeated going into that game with 1 tie.
2nd down, it was loss of down on the ineligible downfield. 2nd and long. Hugo completes it. Up across the 45-yard line. He got to Malarkey, who has been out with an injury. It's at the 47-yard line. 3rd and 15. Beg your pardon, 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. Hampton, 1st down and out of bounds. That was Mike Jones hanging on, and that's Charlie Pell along the sideline. 1st down and 10 for his Gators.
Charlie Pell thought this was going to be one of his best teams here at Florida. Again, as we mentioned, they got off to that great start, and then he had some injuries to his defense. It's been disappointing, certainly today.
And the story of the victor. A man who's been around, this is his 19th season at Georgia, Vince Dooley.
I thought that was a remarkable statistic that he's only lost 1 game in the SEC the last 5 years.
Fantastic, really. Lost to Auburn in 1979, and that's all. Anderson on the pass from Hugo, and he gets down there to the 39-yard line before he's brought down by Jones, Darrell Jones. Clock is running, that's time remaining. Again, Florida's ready to go on a 2nd down play. The Snake is dropped for a sack. Back in his own territory. It was Ed Moore who made the tackle. The ball is back at the 48-yard line of Florida. And it's 3rd and long again. They're ready to go. Tossed it in front of them. Line of scrimmage is the 48. 4th down coming up. Executive producer of NCAA Sports is Kevin O'Malley. Our producer today is Rick Lasavita. And our director, Robert Fishman. Ready Tuitt is the associate producer. Scott Johnson, Pierce O'Neill, our broadcast associates, and Stu Meyer, our field technical manager. Stu did an outstanding job under difficulties here by coming into the stadium that wasn't really finished quite yet, getting everything set up. And here are the technical people who have made this telecast possible here this afternoon from the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida. It'll be fourth down coming up here when players resume 4th and 15. Technical people have done a fine job here this weekend. So much so that even when we came to look at the booth yesterday, we had to wear hard hats to come up and do some of the construction that was still going on.
That crew's been working day and night for the last 2 or 3 days, Lindsay. Did a spectacular job.
Our thanks also to our spotter, Bill Friel, our statistician, Roger Riley, Director of Athletics and Head Coach Vince Dooley and his staff of Georgia, Georgia SID Claude Felton, Florida Director of Athletics Bill Carr, SID Norm Carlson, and the head coach Charlie Pell and his staff. Another interception. No, it isn't. It is not. An attempted interception for Darrell Jones, but it hit the ground. It's on 4th down and the ball goes over. Dooley wants to know. Hands in pockets, but very interested. And he's leading 44-0. What? No interception? How can you call it like that?
Well, his team is very close, actually, to the NCAA record.
I want to thank John Humanick of the University of Florida for all of his help to us this week also. Tommy Lewis is the quarterback now. Tommy Lewis is the Georgia quarterback. Montgomery. Got about a yard. Sybil made the tackle. Florida. 2 minutes, 5 seconds left to play in this game. Georgia is leading by a score of 44-0. Our thanks, of course, to Goodyear, to the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company for the blip and those gorgeous shots from overhead. There's the blip. Lewis handing it off, and it was taken that time by Young, the fullback. Got into about the 44-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 6 at the 44. What a day for the Georgia Bulldogs and their fans. What a day for college football. We've been so delighted to bring it to you on CBS, college football. Conversation. It's about all that's left at this time of day. Montgomery, penalty marker. Got through to the 39-yard line.
Lindsay, we've seen some very good football teams at CBS this fall. We saw another one tonight. I would have to say the teams that I've seen, and I've seen Nebraska and I've seen Alabama, this team may be the best. I'll take that back. They are the best.
Well, the pollsters will have something to say about that because the previous #1 team, Pittsburgh, was knocked off today. It'll be interesting to see how the polls see it. An in-motion penalty has cost Georgia 5 here. 59 seconds left on the clock. Georgia Bulldogs hoping to come in here this year and get their second national championship in 3 seasons. In 1980, they won the national championship. 2 straight years, they won the Southeastern Conference Championship. Now they will be 9-0. An impressive victory. They're leading 44-0 right now over a good Florida team that came in 5-2. Tom Spangler carrying. Tom Spangler was stopped at the 49-yard line.
Stopped by Miller.
Miller made the stop. We have less than 30 seconds to play. Punter comes in. It's 4th down. The clock is running, as you can see. Broadway's in to do the punting. Curry is back deep. Crowd is counting off the clock. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. That's it. The ball game is over. The Georgia Bulldogs have had a magnificent afternoon. with their 9th victory of the year, and they are undefeated and untied. One of the nation's premier college football teams from Athens, Georgia. Played before the largest crowd ever to see a game in the state of Florida. And it is Georgia 44 and Florida nothing. The Chevrolet player of the game from Georgia is, guess who? Herschel Walker, who carried 35 times for 221 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the player of the game from Florida is Tony Lilly, the free safety, who had 1 assisted tackle and 9 unassisted tackles. So those are the winners. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each school's general scholarship fund to further assist students in all chosen fields of academic endeavor. Georgia heading for the locker room, having jacked up a victory here this afternoon. As the final score at the Gator Bowl once again was the Georgia Bulldogs 44 and the Florida Gators nothing.